This is a special presentation from the Brighton Central School District Board of Education.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Brighton Central School District Board of Education business meeting for December 15th, 2020. Please take note that the Board of Education of the Brighton Central School District, in response to the continuing emergency circumstances caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, and consistent with the New York State Governor's executive orders, will continue to conduct its meetings, including tonight's meeting of December 15th at 7 p.m. to be held via Zoom and streamed by webinar through our district website. In a moment, we will offer the opportunity for public participation. If there are any members of the public watching us this evening that wish to make a statement or a comment during public participation, please use the chat feature at the bottom of your screen and enter your name and your address, and we will call on you in just a few moments when we open up that opportunity. So thank you very much for that. But in addition to the opportunity offered at our board meeting and public participation, members of the public and any residents of Brighton are welcome to send any comments, questions, inquiries directly to the board or to Dr. McGowan specifically through either email or postal mail. All of our contact information is available on the district website. So again, I remind folks, if you're watching and you would like to comment during the public participation session, please put your name and your address in the chat feature at the bottom of your screen, and we will call on you. So Dr. McGowan, has anybody entered the chat feature and put their name in yet? Okay. So at the moment,
they have not.
Okay, thank you very much. At the moment, we don't have any for public participation. So at this point, I will move on to ask the board for a motion, please, for approval of our agenda for this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Julene, seconded by Karen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That's 6 in favor and none opposed. I make note that board member Larry Davis is not with us this evening, so we will be 6 for this evening. May I have a motion, please, board, to approve the minutes of our December 1st education meeting?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Sue and seconded by Andrea. Does anyone have any corrections, additions, or deletions to those minutes? Or hearing none, then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. That's 6 in favor and none opposed. So to begin with this evening, we continue our honoring of the Brighton Believers and the Brighton Believer Awards. I will turn it over to you, Dr. McGowan, to begin tonight. I guess I didn't check with you first, but.
No, that is just fine, and I appreciate that. We are very excited to have our second round of Brighton Believer Awards tonight. Dr. Hall will start those out. Just to give you a little bit of background on that, last school year, the Brighton Believes Council selected 22 nominees to receive a Brighton Believers Award at its meeting in February. However, of course, the awards were not able to be presented due to COVID last spring and shutting down our schools in March, but we did not forget about these very important members of our school community and did want to make sure that they were recognized for demonstrating the Brighton Believes character traits: integrity, respect, responsibility, kindness, and self-control. These award winners are parents, students, teachers, staff members, coaches, and community members. Dr. Hall will start us out tonight. Mr. Nunez will follow, and Dr. Rio will follow that with their particular nominees from their buildings. Dr. Hall.
There we go. Good evening, everybody. I have 2 award winners, both former students of Brighton High School, 2020 grads. And our first is Jazz Koft. I see Jazz is on the screen there, at least his name. Jazz is, again, a 2020 Brighton High School graduate and was nominated by TCMS teacher and musical choreographer Jessica Padilla. Ms. Padilla said, "Jazz is truly an amazing human. I've known Jazz since 7th grade when he played Simba in our middle school production of Lion King Jr. and I've had the opportunity to work with him in our BHS show choirs and musicals. Over the past 4 years, I've observed Jazz mature into one of the most hardworking, authentically kind, and successful students I've ever taught. Honestly, he makes me want to be a better educator every time I work with him because he is the kid that will conquer any obstacle in his pathway with grace and a smile on his face. Jazz is incredibly respectful toward every adult and peer in his life. He displays integrity by never backing down from his beliefs. Kindness is Jazz's middle name. He's incredibly responsible, and Jazz displays a great self-control. And Jazz is just an extremely talented young man and really awesome winner of the Brighton Believes Award. Congratulations, Jazz. Okay. Our next award winner, I see her up on the screen, Kamaria Shepard, also known as Cammie. Kamaria is also a 2020 BHS graduate, and she was nominated by me, Dr. Hall, principal at the high school. Kamaria lives the Brighton Believes traits of respect, responsibility, kindness, self-control, and integrity. Kamaria leads our Black Student Union and has participated in numerous events like Rock to Change and panel discussions to talk about race and diversity. She is a member of Brighton High School's Culture Climate Leadership Team, where the goal is to improve the culture and climate of BHS and make it safe and a caring place for all students and staff. She is a leader, and she is a leader on our track and field teams and is a model BHS student who gives up her time for the betterment of the community at BHS. She lives Brighton Believes. I'm also excited to share with you that Kamaria had a 3.8 GPA at Tiffin University and has completed her first semester of college. So Cammie, congratulations, so excited for you. You got a great supportive family and kudos to you. I love that smile. And I'll send it over to Mr. Nunez.
All right, thank you, Dr. Hall, appreciate that. I now have the pleasure to recognize Jack Fessenstein. Jack is now an 8th grader who was nominated by TCMS counselors Catherine Liebel and Victoria Mazzetti. They wrote, "Jack is a kind and friendly young man. He participated as a mentor for a group of 6th graders in a support group. His friendly, gentle demeanor helps his peers feel valued and comfortable. Jack shows self-control, integrity, responsibility, kindness, and respect in all aspects of school. He is a leader among his peers, exhibiting self-control behaviors in and out of the classroom setting. He teaches younger students integrity. He is a responsible young man who cares for his school device, materials, and follows school rules. He is respectful to all adults he works with and greets peers with a kind smile. Jack demonstrates the Brighton Believes character traits every day and is a perfect candidate for this recognition." Thank you, Jack. Okay, I turn it over to Dr. Rio.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I have 2 fantastic FRES faculty members here tonight to celebrate and recognize, and they were both nominated by one of our counselors, Miss Ashley Ellis, who's also here tonight. And first, we're going to chat about Jyoti Mandalika. Miss Mandalika, I know you're on there, so you can give a quick wave so everyone can see you. Hi, Jyoti. Jyoti is a teaching assistant at French Road, and she was again nominated by Miss Ellis, who wrote, "There are people that can come into your life and there's just a connection there through a smile, interaction, or just being in their presence. Mrs. Mandalika is very special. It's the way she cares for her students, her teachers, and the overall role she has here in our building at French Road. She's just always there. She goes out of her way to check on you, and the warmth in her smile creates a sense of peace. People feel that. How lucky we are to have that peace person at French Road. Even in the hardest of times through last year, you found the strength to smile for all of us, especially our kids. You checked in and you understood how important it is just to be you, the best way to be. Thanks for all you do each and every day for our students, Jyoti." Woohoo! Next up, we have Mr. Jeffrey Reichman, who is a special education teacher at French Road. Jeff. Hi, Jeff. Jeff again was also nominated by Miss Ellis, and Miss Ellis wrote, "Being one with the process and providing unconditional care and support is the secret sauce to a program's success. And having that way of being throughout your life is very rare, and Mr. Reichman offers this unique and necessary approach to our kids and families. The life education that Mr. Reichman provides is so much bigger than the classroom. He's always planting those seeds that will have an opportunity to grow, even beyond the school years. Mr. Reichman demonstrates all that he does with great care and integrity. He's a man of his word, and we're so fortunate to have him within our school community. If you know him, you know he loves his family, his chickens, his woods, mushroom hunting, the earth, and the ability to celebrate each day. Thank you, Mr. Reichman, for sharing that with our students every day at French Road." And that is it for French Road tonight. Thank you, Jeff and Joe T.
Thank you, Jim, Tom, Allison. Great work. We appreciate that. And congratulations to all of the Brighton Believes Award winners. Thank you for showing us the way, being a model for our entire community. We deeply, deeply appreciate it. Now, you can also stick around for the rest of the meeting if you'd like. Feel free to log off if you wouldn't. It is thrilling. I would recommend further attendance. I'm just kidding. Do whatever works for you, and thank you for all of your contributions.
And you can always watch us at a future date at your convenience on the YouTube channel also. So, there you go. But on behalf of the board, thank you so much. Congratulations to those who we recognize this evening. A reminder that the remaining folks will be recognized at our January 5th and 19th meetings. And especially also thank you to those who nominated folks. I mean, it's unfortunate we had to delay things, but we've had to delay a lot of things. But we're happy to be able to give that recognition. And thank you all who have participated in the process of nominating individuals. And it's such a cross section of folks from all aspects of students all the way through older adults and serving the community, the school community in so many different ways. So we are appreciative, and we do thank everyone for participating in the inaugural awards. Next up this evening, we have a tenure recommendation. I will ask for a motion, and then we'll turn it over to Dr. McGowan. So a motion, please, from the board for the approval of tenure for Mr. Jonathan Northrup.
So moved. Second.
Pick somebody, Mark.
All right.
It's a combination between me, Karen, and Andrea.
Move.
Pick one. Two.
Seconded by Andrea. And next time it'll be Karen. But Dr. McGowan.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased this evening to be recommending Jonathan Northrup to you for a tenure appointment. Jonathan has a bachelor's degree in anthropology and Francophile studies from St. Lawrence and a master's degree in education and TESOL from Nazareth College. His certification initial is in English to speakers of other languages, and his experience includes part-time work at French Road, probationary work then at French Road and Council Rock, and now his probationary experience at Council Rock. And I just would like to cite from Mr. Tappan's recommendation that Jonathan is remarked to be a wonderful, kind, empathetic teacher who works hard to connect with each of his students and families. He is always willing to go above and beyond to support his students with whatever they need. His focus on developing students' vocabulary and English experience is laser-like, and he is always looking to enhance his students' whole child development. He works closely with families, providing support for them as they too adjust to being in a new country and the challenges associated with that experience. For his excellent work in the classroom and everything he's brought to the organization, it gives me great pleasure to make that recommendation this evening to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. McGowan. Board members, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's 6 in favor and none opposed. Jonathan, congratulations.
Congratulations, Jonathan. Great job.
Our next item of business this evening, we welcome Deanna Spagnola, our Interim Director of Student Services, and an update on our Student Services function and program. Deanna.
Thank you very much. Do I have the ability to share my screen? Yes, I do. Wonderful. Thank you. It is great to be here tonight. Thank you so much. As I was preparing this presentation for an update about the Office of Student Services, oh, that's not going, there we go. I was reminded of when I was transitioning into this position, and I have 3 girls, and they were, and my husband too, was congratulating me, and there was a banner that they made and flowers on the table and cards, and on the card it said mommy, and underneath in parentheses it said AKA Director of Student Services. And then later that night, one of my girls said to me, "I'm so proud of you. This is so wonderful. You work so hard. This is amazing. What is the Student Services office?" And then I'm also thinking about different phone calls that we get in the office, whether it's myself, Jill Milliman, or our wonderful secretaries, Teresa Van Neel or Kathy Dudley. We may get some other phone calls, and they often begin with, "I'm not sure if I've called the right place." So hopefully, as I provide an update tonight about the Office of Student Services and where we are currently, maybe some new information about who we are also as well. So if you take a look here, our family tree of the Office of Student Services has changed a little bit over time as we've shifted some responsibilities administratively at district office. So as you see, we branch out to mental health and wellness, special education, nursing services, and a carryover from the Office of Instruction and Humanities, response to intervention and academic intervention. So I'm excited to share a little bit more about what's happening in each of these areas through the Office of Student Services currently this year. So one of the newer I shouldn't say it's always a part that I've been working on as Assistant Director of Humanities and now Director of Student Services. I'm excited to continue this work, to continue some of the momentum that we had going last year, especially in regard to literacy, and in particular our K-5 literacy intervention. We are looking at that and how we can, as I said, keep momentum going in terms of our literacy instruction. In particular, looking at phonics instruction and phonemic awareness. And we've been sending a lot of teachers to letters training and taking a look at how we can better improve some really great literacy instruction, but then how we can also better improve that through Road to Reading. We've got some great remote office hours that are taking place at French Road by the wonderful reading teacher Jen Gallo, who's providing some opportunities for people to drop in. And throughout this, I'm going to try to highlight also some silver linings within our current learning environment that we have right now, that people have taken advantage for professional development, outreach, and to do their best for children as well. We are looking at data, and especially this year, as we no longer, as last year, the state assessments were canceled. So how do we make our best decisions for kids with limited data and resources available and data points? So classroom observation, other benchmark assessments, and through the spring, we were able to look at a lot of different free resources, explore those options as we were navigating last spring. But now, what are some really vetted literacy or intervention programs that we want to continue to use to better our instruction, whether remote or in person? So we want to capitalize on the opportunities that we found last year. For example, Lexia is a program that we use for AIS literacy intervention that we've been able to expand to Council Rock, and now again over to TCMS, where in the past we've only been using it at French Road. So I'm really excited to be able to find other opportunities for our learners and look at how we can support them in many different ways within the general education setting. So once we move over to the special education arena, I'm very proud of the wide continuum of resources and services that we are able to provide our students that you see listed here on the screen. Quite honestly, we receive phone calls from families looking to move into the area, not only within Monroe County, but across other states too. Just recently, we had someone from Brooklyn call and somewhere in Montana calling about our programming that we provide, the rich programming and the depth of that continuum. I'd like to highlight, as you take a look at all of these areas, and we start from least restrictive to our 4-year-olds, 3 and 4-year-olds in preschool, all the way up to our Project Grow program for our 18 to 21-year-olds. And I'm going to highlight that in one of my, in a later event for again, a silver lining for our current learning environment that we're in right now. But Project Grow, as you see listed last there, it's an opportunity for 18 to 21-year-old students to develop independent skills, independent living, to develop interpersonal skills, have opportunities for job opportunities, or seek out community resources. And Mike Wayne, who is the teacher of that program, has really capitalized on those opportunities for those students. And I'm really proud of what he's able to do even in our COVID learning environment. As you see also there, I'd like to highlight our PATH program. PATH really doesn't stand for, it's not an acronym, unlike most things in education, but our Pathways to Success, Pathways to Graduation, we like to call that. But it's an opportunity for students who may not necessarily struggle academically, but social, emotional, behavioral needs is what really gets in their way sometimes of accessing their full educational opportunities or all of their success that they can achieve in the gen ed setting. I'm also excited about the opportunity to collaborate around our AIM program, the Alternative High School program at the high school. That's both the general education and the special education program. But I think that this covers the unique breadth of opportunity that we have for our students with IEPs. Along with that, we may need to support students in some out-of-district programs, and we collaborate and communicate with many different agencies, and these are just a sampling of the agencies that we happen to be working with this current school year for our students. And we always want to look at supporting our students in the least restrictive environment, but we also are very proud of the fact that we can support students based on their strengths and their level of need and provide exactly what that is and support them along their educational journey. A unique aspect in terms of special education in Brighton is under state regulation, any school district is considered a district of location. However, Brighton is very unique in the sense of the number of different private and parochial and charter schools that we have access to. And we support children with their with their individualized learning plans there. We manage those plans, we manage their programming, including students who are homeschooled, and collaborating with other school districts too. We have the unique opportunity, including this year, where we have some other neighboring school districts. Because of the programming that we provide here, we're able to collaborate with them, and they are sending their students from their school district to ours because we're able to provide that out-of-district programming for them to support them uniquely here in Brighton. I want to give a shout out at this moment to my partner in crime, who I rely on greatly, Jill Milliman, who is really the point of contact for many of the families who are homeschooled or in the private setting or out of district. Jill's very knowledgeable, and she's been supporting these families and has been really helpful to me in my transition as well. So I would be remiss if I didn't bring up about reopening, which here we are in December, and it's hard for me to say reopening. But as we took a look at what the state guidelines put out for us in terms of special education and how we wanted to support our students, in particular focusing on meeting student needs while mitigating risk, but also taking a look at the unique needs that our students have and how can we support them within our reopening plan. We learned a lot also, and I'm excited to bring up in one of my moments to our silver lining is extended school year. We were the only school district in Monroe County to open up for extended school year programming this summer. And we were able to take some of those learnings and some of the information and the experience that we had from that to turn that over to how we wanted to shape and revise our own reopening plan for special education students. So just to quickly put up here to summarize where we began in September with our programming for special needs students. And what I'm really most proud of is that each individual building has been able to support students, whether it's in a 2-day or a 4-day programming. And students, I should highlight, who are in a self-contained or a very specialized program with a one-to-one teaching assistant, or some youngsters in the PATH program or other specialized programs, their families did have the option of being supported within 4 days. What's been unique along the way, and I'm going to highlight maybe at the middle school or at BHS, is that socially coming 4 days actually was something that was not the most supportive for some of our students. They wanted to be with their peers. They wanted to follow the same schedule as their peers. And so we were able to shift very quickly to support those students to make sure that they still had the most supportive structure within their asynchronous days, so that they still had contact, but yet they still had access to general education just like their gen ed peers. I'm very, very proud of each building and what they have been doing to support our students in many, many different ways, in particular the ongoing communication, the emails, and the unique ways that they are supporting students' needs, regardless of the schedule, regardless of the program. The differentiation has been significant, and it's amazing thanks to their collaboration and communication with families, with staff, and between buildings. So the Office of Student Services also supports our nursing department, our nursing services, and I happened to jump on a meeting today with Betsy Bowling, who oversees and facilitates the nurses. She's been doing an amazing job collaborating with them. The nurses also have been collaborating with Nate Merritt, participating on our district safety team, also receiving information from our district physician, and of course from the Monroe County Department of Health in the current situation that we are in. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Just does not cover it, especially for those of you who may have visited our testing site over at the high school just after Thanksgiving. They battled the elements. They were so kind, compassionate, patient, caring, and individualized in very, very little sunshine, lots of wind, lots of rain, and they helped us successfully accomplish our goal in terms of remaining open. I can't say enough to all of them, their work, and to Betsy and Nate for their facilitation and work with them. And also a special shout out to Kate Valdez also, who is our COVID-19 nurse coordinator, who is so efficient, so thorough with her communication to families, to buildings, to staff, making sure that we are following protocols. In many ways, she is ahead of the curve and ahead of the information, and we'd be lost without her. So we are so grateful for her. In addition to COVID, our nurses are also busy just taking care of the health and safety of our children in all of our buildings, including data management. And they were just faced with another reminder of some more data that they have to collect coming up in the next few months, and keeping track of immunization and physical deadlines. And today we talked about another one today. Some of those folks were joined myself and Betsy and Dr. McGowan last night on the school and community healthcare alignment meeting. They are working all hours to get information. They are sharing resources with each other and supporting one another, which is so fantastic. I'm so proud to work with those wonderful, wonderful individuals. Betsy Bowling, who I've already referenced, our assistant principal over at the high school, also is in charge of facilitating K-12 mental health and wellness across our school districts. And I'm excited to share that tomorrow night there will be a school district mental health and wellness town hall sponsored by our mental health team and also Jewish Family Services. And so excited for the release and unveiling of our district wellness suite. Thanks to our district wellness committee. I see Julene, you're right underneath me on my screen, and I know that you have sat on that committee as well, as we looked at different ways to support our families, our parents, our community members, our students, and also a wellness suite for our staff as well, which is very, very exciting. Betsy continues to oversee with our fabulous mental health staff across all of our buildings to ensure that the momentum and the best practices around restorative practice continue to happen, even in a remote setting. Community circles continue. The health and care of their mental health of the whole child, of all of our students across the district continues, and we are so proud of those efforts that are happening there. So as I've been referencing before, some highlights and celebrations and silver linings I want to highlight today because of different things that have happened throughout the district and across the area. Again, I am so proud of the leadership and facilitation, Victoria Mosetti, as our summer coordinator of extended school year. But I also want to put a shout out to my colleague and friend, Carolyn Raberdew, whose big shoes I'm trying to fill. Last year, we worked side by side together when the state put out the guidance that said a school district may consider opening extended school year. And Carolyn posed the question, why not? And together we worked with transportation, we worked with buildings and grounds, we worked with security and on staff, and called families. And I feel like the movie Field of Dreams, but we said, if we build it, will you come? And due to overwhelming response, 53 families said yes. Many who participated in person, we were also able to provide a remote extended school year opportunity, but the majority of our families came in person. And thanks to over 25 staff members, we were able to provide a very safe and exciting opportunity. And thanks to French Road for welcoming us, even amidst their construction. We continued on, and it was a wonderful, wonderful experience to happen. And so glad that we could provide that for our students. Jill Milliman helped run a remote summer learning program. We were able to provide support for students in the area of reading, in particular phonics and phonemic awareness. And in math at grades 3 through 5, phonemic and phonics instruction was delivered at the K2 level. And we delivered, and people came and picked up materials, because one of the pieces that we learned in terms of our reading instruction is that the kids needed stuff. They needed things to manipulate to learn best. And we were able to provide a remote virtual reading and math program to support our students with some priority standards or skills that we knew that maybe weren't necessarily fully addressed, or we wanted to make sure that they had the skills in place before they came in fall. And so Jill, we were able to invite over 130 students. We ended up with about 120 who participated in the program, 6 teachers. It was a fabulous experience, and we are just looking at the data now after looking at fall data, including MAP data that has just come in, to look at student growth and progress as we continue to plan. A shout out to Mike Wayne for the Project Grow program that I mentioned before. He did a fabulous job before school opened. Project Grow is a program that normally is housed on the St. John Fisher campus, and due to the COVID situation, obviously, they were not able to be on campus, and they are located now at central office. Mike went door to door, and I know that the board put out a shout for help and shout for positions, Dr. McGowan as well. We were able to secure many, many jobs for our students to continue to work on their life skills and their job skills, including the Spotted Rabbit, Balsam Bagels, Country Club Diner, working with district food services, and continuing to work and engage with the Strath Allen, Food Link, the Highlands of Pittsford, and Lollipop Farm. And Mike has really capitalized on providing a great and unique experience for our kids that he didn't think was going to happen at all. And so we are carrying on. They go out every day, and it's a wonderful experience to watch and see all that they are able to do. And again, another shout out at the end for this testing site teamwork. It was amazing to visit them and be a part of that for the little bit that I did. I was very, very, very proud to see all that they were able to accomplish for our community. So some dates to remember. Tomorrow again, the Mental Health and Wellness Town Hall meeting. That's tomorrow, virtually of course. And coming up January 26th, we're pleased to announce that there will be a new family reception that was normally in person, but we will be doing that virtually. Very excited, some more details to come. And I'll be popping in the next few months on the special education PTSA meetings with the principal. Those dates are listed there over the next 4 months. And it's hard to believe, but people are actually starting to plan their spring annual reviews for our special education students. So on our first day of a good snowfall, we're actually talking about the spring. So any questions? And thank you very much. I'm very proud to have been able to share so much.
Thank you very much, Deanna. We sincerely appreciate that. Welcome in your new role. I guess this is officially and formally the first time you've presented to us in the new role this way. So thank you so much for all the work that you do. And you mentioned those that are in that office that we often don't recognize. So thank you for bringing up everyone by name and recognizing their work. And I think that it's really valuable. I love your story in the beginning about your daughter saying, okay, so what is this exactly that you do? I mean, she's not the only one, right? I mean, we often, within district, what is it that's in that office again? And there are so many things that you touch, and you deal with some of our most fragile and at need and at risk students and families. And so thank you so much for the update and for clarifying all of that for everyone paying attention. Board members, are there any questions for Deanna or anything further this evening? I guess we covered it. So
thank you.
Thank you again. We appreciate it. Our reports section this evening starts off with our financial reports. We have our treasurer's report for the period September 30th, 2020 and ending October 30th, 2020. We also have financial summaries. There's an error on the agenda. We can correct it, Kim, just in the minutes. But the financial summaries are for November 12th and December 8th. There's a lag to each of those reports, obviously, just in the way the reporting is done. Let's have does anyone have any questions or comments? Do we need anything from Lou further? I think that's quite clear when you look at the financial summaries provided for us from November, December. We continue to watch very closely and carefully. This is not a normal year. When you look at year-over-year spending, some categories are up, some categories are down. We continue to pay very close attention. Lou, the entire leadership team, audit committee, the board, obviously, on the increasing costs related to pandemic learning and the operation that we're under, and things change so rapidly. But thanks to Lou and everybody for keeping very close eye and close watch on those numbers on a daily basis. So I will make that comment. Does anyone else have any questions or comments or anything for Lou? Then can we have a motion, please, to receive and accept the financial reports as outlined?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Karen and seconded by Christina. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That'd be 6 in favor and none opposed. Thank you. Next up this evening, our student representative is with us. Stella, our student representative reports.
Hi, so I just have a few updates for tonight. One pretty interesting change in the past couple weeks was that we've started to have some students Zoom into classes when they're either quarantined or sick, which I think is a really good idea because it means that we don't have to miss material and fall behind. And it's definitely very interesting to hear people talking from our teacher's computer. And I also think that right now the hybrid schedule is becoming a little bit difficult just because we're right before winter break and students often have to take multiple tests on the same days. And I know a lot of people have voiced that to the administration, but it can definitely be very difficult. But while some of us are definitely stressed, we're all looking forward to winter break, and I'm sure the teachers are too. Another big update is that winter sports started yesterday. I'm actually a winter athlete, so I'm very excited about that. And we're all trying to stay distanced and safe because we really don't want our season to get cut short for any reason. Also, on behalf of the students, we also learned that AP exams will be in person this year, which some people, including myself, are a little disappointed about. Because this means that AP teachers have to cover every single topic before the exams. And we were already planning for that, but this information just makes our fast-paced schedule more real and more necessary, and definitely a little bit more anxiety-provoking. And I hope we all feel prepared in May, since our hybrid schedule is definitely forcing us all to be more independent. So yeah, I'll give you guys some updates on that, and hopefully it'll go well. So amidst our before break anxiety, we're all very excited for a safe and relaxing holiday, and I hope all of you are too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stella. We appreciate it. As I said earlier, it's really a pleasure to have you on these meetings and provide a student's perspective during this time that we're in. So thank you again for joining us this evening. Next up, our Board of Education Standing Committee reports with the Monroe County School Boards Association. And as we've mentioned earlier, the Monroe County School Boards Association 3 standing committees have moved to all remote also, and it's created a couple of challenges, but we proceed, and we continue to meet also our executive committee, our steering committee, and the other ancillary type committees all continue to meet and accomplish work, but remotely now, not in person. So first up, Labor Relations met on November 18th with regard to labor relations in catastrophic times. I have no idea what they're talking about, but I know, did anybody, Larry attended that? I know.
Larry attended. I did not, but Larry did. So
I did. I went to labor relations this time because it was on Zoom, so I was able to attend.
Yeah, that is one thing about it. We're, a lot more attendance all around the county, obviously. But Sue, did you have something to add for that meeting?
It was sort of like, this was the first meeting that I was able to attend, and it was definitely it was sort of an upsetting first meeting because it talked about, layoffs in the time of COVID, because, with budget constraints coming up, how do districts face layoffs? And so there were some attorneys present who sort of presented a formula for how to go about staff layoffs. And that is, that was the entire topic. And, I will not belabor anything that I heard, but that was sort of like, how to deal with, for a lot of districts, the inevitable. There you go.
A bit of an unfortunate reality, correct? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. And then, our committees don't meet in December, so the next meeting of all of those standing committees will be January. Information exchange was also on November 18th. That was a later in the day meeting, I believe, on digital divide. Was anybody able to attend that?
I was there. Christina, were you able to be there? It
It
was,
was too, Julie, you and I.
that's right. You want to report?
Go ahead.
It was really interesting because two gentlemen from RCSD presented about the work that they had to do to get technology out into the community to their students. And what they ended up doing was actually taking apart all of their computer labs and making sure everything was working that could be done, from remote locations, as well as providing hotspots for a large number of their students. And the work that they did to make that happen so that their students could participate remotely was astounding. But what was even more astounding what they said it will require of them to bring it all back in, which is going to be even a bigger lift than dispersing it through the community. So, we only know what we know and what we're accustomed to, and we're so fortunate here was really my big takeaway. But I was so impressed with how they managed to do what they did, and they did it very creatively, and it was a huge, huge lift. And we don't read that in the paper.
No.
You don't learn about that just as being part of the community. But I thought it was really a very, very interesting and eye-opening presentation.
It was a wonderful presentation. I agree. And just, the sheer number of students, they had to get, overnight 27,000 devices out. I mean, it was amazing. It was a big lift, and they explained everything so well. It was a really great meeting. I'm glad that we were able to attend.
That's great. That's great. Fantastic. And I will give a shout out. Thank you for both of you reporting out, but I will give a shout out to Becky, especially in the office. One of the things that they tried to do beginning in the summer was really make legislative and information exchange very topical to the times that we're in, right? I mean, that sounds kind of obvious, but it's a little more difficult because a lot of the topics are evolving and new, and having the right people in front of our groups to be able to really inform us been a bit of a challenge. So I appreciate their efforts in trying to make that work, and really so far they've been able to do that. So thank you, and thank the two of you for being able to attend. Legislative committee was scheduled to meet on December 2nd. Unfortunately, we had to cancel that meeting. That meeting was set up. All of the newly elected members of the state assembly and the state senate were invited to attend, and only one was able to attend. So we decided, given the timing, and they had just, really technically been elected, and a lot going on. So we're rescheduling that, and that we hope to be able to do that in our January meeting, legislative committee, to be able to meet. It'll be virtually, but with those newer folks. And we have, we've mentioned it before, we have new members of the Assembly and the Senate covering Brighton. And that's true around our region, quite a few new members in state government. So that will be our focus in the first beginning meetings of 2021. And then BOCES report, I did receive from Sora Sachs, our BOCES board member, a brief report. She mentioned that as a COVID update, 6 of the BOCES classes located in districts were affected by being in orange zones, but are now back in person after all the required COVID testing. Other programs were able to retain normalcy. This week, I actually believe that was last week. Last week, because she sent me this earlier. Last week, the 7th graders at Bird Morgan were remote to allow the Monroe County Health Department to conduct contact tracing on a test. And also they did get a bit of good news. We all got a bit of good news because BOCES is a cooperative effort, but the capital project schedule for summer work 2021 in career and technology area updates, the bids came in lower than anticipated. So that was a positive out of the last BOCES group. So other board member reports. So this is an opportunity for us to share, individual board members to share some of the other activities that are going on. Obviously, activities aren't the same under the current circumstances, but does anybody have anything that they would like to share out as with regard to individual board activities?
We're
See,
in a meeting lull right now. I think I
We
have
are.
diversity equity on Thursday, but we haven't met since I reported out last time, and the same with curriculum council.
Yeah, you're right. We are in that little bit of a lull period. Karen, thank you. I will report out that I was involved in a couple of different things. Act for Education. So you'll recall that the Act for Education, it's a Community Together for Education. It's a subcommittee of the Monroe County Superintendents. It's been in existence now for about 7 years. There are 2 board members that serve on that. I have the pleasure to do that along with Terry Malor from Greece. And it's a great committee combining a lot of folks under the direction of our partners really at Causeway. And that group has begun a speakers series. So on Thursdays, I believe we're doing it now. Maybe I got to double check. But anyway, we're doing a speaker series, a webinar series on topics related to local education topics. Kevin was involved in one of those, and it's a panel of 2 or 3 experts. Dr. Mendoza has done one. He's coming back to do another one. And I will make sure we get the link out to everybody to that website because they're also all archived. And they are really, really good presentations on a variety of topics that are of interest to all of us in education right now, primarily related to pandemic learning. So we had a good meeting on that. And then Monroe County School Board's Executive Committee, we did meet on December 2nd in a virtual meeting also that evening. So then we'll move on to some other reports. Our Brighton Teachers Association report. Nicole, I see you're with us this evening. Welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
Great.
I have some great things to report. One of them was actually on the BCSD webpage. It was the 2nd grade classes of Adele Linton and Kathy Banbury, who used they made these high five sticks. I don't know if you saw the video, but they're really amazing. So they had the kids trace their hands and then they put them on the painter sticks. Actually, they might be on longer sticks. And so when they are doing things with each other or want to greet each other or say great job, they actually grab their sticks and they give each other a high five. It's a really ingenious thing. And part of their inspiration was that they used the 2 books, All Are Welcome Here and The Color of Us. And I think there was a video attached to the board report, so hopefully you got to check that out. It was pretty amazing. In Mrs. Youngman's 2nd grade, they have been talking about how COVID has affected them and how it's changed, particularly around, Thanksgiving and this time of year, how it's changed how they get together with their families. So she felt that it was important to think about how can we think about the light in our lives. And of course, I think it got dark at like 4:15 today. So it's a good time to have some light. So they listened to this country western song called Be a Light, and then wrote about ways that they are a light in someone else's life and a way that someone is a light in their lives. And she created this string and then sent it out to other classrooms to join in. So that was a really nice thing to kind of just keep thinking about how can we bring some kindness into this crazy time. And there were some examples in the board report. This was amazing. Robert Ackerman, 2nd grade all remote class. They were reading the book, The Silver Arrow, which was named one of the best children's books of 2020. And they were so excited about the story that they actually asked her to record on the weekends so that they could listen to it on the weekends, because they didn't want to go one night without hearing, or one day without hearing the story. So what she did once they finished the book, because they were so excited, she reached out to the author just to let them know that they were going to create ideas for his next story. He was so excited that he actually joined them for a Zoom at the beginning of December. And he told them that he was going to write a new story. They were the first ones to hear it. And he asked for their help in developing ideas for it. And he was a great listener. They shared their ideas. He congratulated them, told them that they were magical. And they were just mesmerized by having this interaction. So they made him a thank you book, and he asked them to include their ideas so that he could use them. So just a wonderful link to, an adult author inspiring our budding authors. Really great. In Mrs. Rank's first and second grade 1214 class, they had an opportunity to have a dolphin therapy via Zoom. A family donated the experience, and it's run by a group in Florida called Island Dolphin Care, and the students were able to request tricks, identify parts of the dolphin, and then they took them on a tour around the facility, which provided opportunities for the kids to have some of that language. And it was, what a beautiful experience. I, of course, didn't get to see it in person. I don't know if Mr. Tappan did, but what a great, great thing. At Frez, Maria Kitsatos's remote class connected with the hybrid classes at Frez, so the TCMS Frez connection, and they did a presentation on anti-bullying based on texts that they were using. So then they got to connect both ways, so that was a great experience. At 12 Corners, the 7th grade class Zoomed with their intern from last year in Germany, and it was dark, I guess, when they were dark in Germany, when they were Zooming here in the States, and they got to ask a lot of questions and just interact with their intern, who they didn't even get to say goodbye to back in March. So that was a really nice experience for them. There are 10, another great author group here, 10 current and former BCSD students of Kristen Halligan's NL program. They are doing first-person immigration stories, and they're going to publish it in a book called Green Card Youth Voices, Immigration Stories from Upstate New York High Schools. And it's students from Buffalo and Rochester, 24 students from 15 different countries. So that's really awesome. Oh, Stella saw the newspaper, cool. They are going to have, they had their Zoom. I don't know if anyone on the board was able to go. They had their Zoom last week, a virtual book launch and the BEF, the Brighton Education Fund, was able to buy 45 copies of the book to be placed at TCMS and BHS. But they had their book launch last week, so congrats to them. And then at the high school, the business education department would like to highlight 2 of their virtual enterprise firms made it into the top 200 across the globe. So that's when at the program, schools set up businesses and then they sell their products. So they had 2 businesses, Hound House, which sold dog accessories, and Power Pills, which sold pills that give you much needed superhuman strength. That sounds pretty impressive. And they sold products across the US and internationally. The top 200 is chosen, and then they'll eventually be narrowed down to 150 to the top 50. So lots of exciting things going on, the benefits of Zoom, reaching out to authors and publishing. Pretty nice. And that's all I've got.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Nicole. And I encourage everybody to, as we always try to remind, our entire agenda and all materials are posted on the website, and your full report is posted there also, so people can take a look at that also in person.
I just want to add, thank you, Nicole. I got 2 books for Christmas gifts off of that list. So it was a great, helpful, and excited to give them as gifts.
So thank you. Coming up then, we have our PTSA report, and I see that we have the PTSA president with us tonight, Sangeeta Patel. So Sangeeta, welcome.
Thank you, Mark. Sorry, Eleanor couldn't be here tonight, so you're stuck with me instead.
It's okay. We're happy to have you.
I'll be brief because unfortunately PTSA still is unable to participate in most of our events due to the virus and the kids not being in school. However, we did have an opportunity last week to provide cookies and cocoa for the volunteers that were doing all of the testing for us and were out in the cold for 3 days. So thank you to all of them for helping get our kids back to school quickly and safely. We are, as Deanna had mentioned, we're looking forward to our district mental health and wellness presentation tomorrow night. I do want to thank Betsy Balling and for the counselors and the social workers in the district for giving us the opportunity and taking time. I know we've been working on this presentation for the past couple of months, so I really want to say thank you to them for doing this for us and for the community. I think it's going to be a great presentation, and I'm looking forward to hearing about the wellness initiative for the district. We are in the planning stages of trying to figure out how to do a virtual Brighton Believes Day and also some virtual activity nights for the middle school. So still in the planning stages of those, but hopefully we'll have more information to come on both of those. I did want to let everyone know that we are still accepting applications for the Nancy Beck grant. So far, we only have a couple of applications in, so we have extended the deadline until the first week of January, I think it is. And we're not meeting with Dave Beck until the end of the month, until the end of January. So for any of the principals, please take note that you still have a few more weeks to get a few more grant applications in there should you need them. And I know the building chairs have been working hard, just trying different ways to support the teachers and the students in the building. I know BHS has done some staff appreciation gift bags. I know that Council Rock has done some pizza lunches, and I know that French Road and TCMS, I believe, are working on post-holiday treats, along with just some weekly treats that they've been providing for the teachers and for the staff. So I think that's about it for us for this month. That's all I got.
Well, thanks, Sangeeta. And I did want to, while you're here with us this evening, I was able to attend the PTSA Central meeting on December 4th. And I said to the group that night, and I just wanted to reiterate for those that watching maybe this evening, our thanks to you and the leadership of PTSA and all of the volunteers with PTSA to be able to make work what you've been able to make work this year virtually, and trying to make as normal as experience as possible with all of your interactions with parents and teachers and students, the principals in the buildings. Keep your activities going along, your cookie dough fundraiser and drive-through pickup, which was very smooth, by the way. We do appreciate it. I mean, all of us working very hard to try to keep things moving forward and try to keep from, I guess, losing as many things as we can possibly keep from sliding away. So thank you on behalf of the board and the district for all the work that everybody's doing there.
Absolutely, our pleasure. Thank you.
Great, thanks. And now Dr. McGowan, Superintendent's report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kekanovich. A couple items to report tonight. First and foremost, though, happy holidays to everybody celebrating Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, this holiday season. We wish you nothing but the best. And if you are not celebrating holidays, we certainly also wish you the best and an enjoyable, safe, and happy time with your family and friends. We obviously are dealing regularly with all things related to COVID, and I just want to say thank you to our community for their support with regard to testing, with regard to masking, with regard to paying attention to symptoms, distancing, et cetera, and really doing a very nice job. This is certainly something that regionally we need to think about, as this area of the state is among the highest and most infected areas in the entire state. So let's keep thinking about that and doing our part. our community certainly has, and we thank them for that. Also, as Stella mentioned, people being able to Zoom into the classroom has been very, very helpful, and we appreciate the support of our community in that, and the work done by our teachers to make that happen, and their very hard work to think very differently about their instruction this year so that we can continue to provide opportunities for them. We're in constant touch, as was mentioned, in a couple of different ways tonight. I know in Deanna's report regarding, for example, the webinar that we were all on last night, many of us were, to think about guidance. That's almost a daily kind of occurrence in very different ways to get new guidance, get new recommendations, work very closely with the healthcare professionals in our community about the different types of clearances that need to happen, the different type of just medical procedures that have to happen, conversations about vaccinations, conversations about return to play for athletics and for physical education. Really all sorts of collaboration happening on many, many levels to keep everybody safe. So we thank everybody for that as well. We have our Diversity Equity Committee meeting tomorrow, our district-wide meeting. Really excited to continue that work. That, in addition to reopening and managing all things COVID, has been a focus for the district this year. All three subcommittees will have time to meet. The committees are working on, as we've mentioned before, hiring practices, family engagement, and student engagement and involvement as well. So we're excited for them to continue that work. We're working quite a bit now in the preliminary stages around budgeting. Lou is constantly focused on that work, and we'll be coming back to you in January with more information and discussion about the impact of COVID this year, the potential reductions from the state. We need to encourage everybody to keep thinking about federal bailout as very important for local governments as well, and encourage legislators. Our local delegation is very supportive of that work, but it will be important for this state to receive some kind of assistance from the federal government. We'll also talk to you then about impacts going forward of COVID. And what I'm speaking to is we don't know what next year looks like. We can anticipate the need to continue to provide remote options for families, the kinds of costs that PPE will have on the budget, potential impact of transportation, et cetera, and thinking about full day kindergarten still planned on for September of next year. But in the context of the larger budget, will that be a new program that we can implement? And we're planning and continuing to move that direction, but that'll be a larger conversation that we need to have in the springtime as well. And last but certainly not least, the district mascot committee meets for a second time tomorrow. We'll narrow the choices of logo down to one for each of the three Bobcats, Bruins, or Bulldogs. There will be one choice for each. The committee now is looking at, 27 choices for Bulldogs, 26 different Bruin logos, 19 different Bobcat logos, and they'll narrow that choice down twice. This is all important district business. We will get down then to one. And that one Dr. Hall is presenting is, I don't believe, one of the 27 Bulldogs, but thank you for offering that tonight. And we'll have our kids K through 12 in the class of 2020 vote on that choice next week and make an announcement to the community on Tuesday, the 23rd, before Dr. Hall gets eaten by the Bruin. That's all, Mr. Kakanovich. Thank you very much. And again, happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you very much, Dr. McGowan, for the update. I will make one note, though. I believe you mentioned DEI tomorrow. I believe DEI is Thursday afternoon.
I'm on to Thursday already. You are correct. Thursday afternoon. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I have no idea what day of the week it is.
I don't either, actually.
I mean, they're all the same, right? Kind of, but
You
yeah.
got it.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that, and thank you for the update. We also have tonight 3 bids. They're cooperative bids. I believe it would be fine for us to accept a motion in a second and take a vote on them collectively. So I will ask, and the material is posted on the website, I will ask for a motion to approve the cooperative bids number 9 ABC for electricity purchase, school lunch equipment repair and maintenance, and school lunch paper and plastic. A motion, please.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Okay,
Second.
Andrea. Did Andrea? Okay,
Andrea and Susan.
all right, whatever. I can't keep track anymore. The noises come through at the same time. Anyway, does anybody have any questions on those, though? Do you have any questions of Lou or any comments? We continue to purchase cooperatively through the consortium, as we do with most of our materials and supplies like that. Provides the best price for us, and these are 3 examples right here. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. That's 6 in favor and none opposed. We also then need next up item number 10 or item number 9. Oh, that must be item number 10. Item number 10, a motion to approve corrective action plan for the IDEA program desk review, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Karen, seconded by Julene. That is, we've discussed this earlier, and it is also listed on the agenda. This is a corrective action plan required. It's a federal government program, IDEA, number of technical fixes, not unusual, and this is the plan to take care of that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? 6 in favor and none opposed. We do have a policy read this evening. Motion, please, for first read on policy 5670, non-instructional business operations, records management. Motion?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Moved by Julene and seconded by Karen.
Christina.
Christina.
It's okay.
You have impeccable timing tonight, group, by the way. We might have to go back to the hands. But anyway, this is a policy that is, it's a new policy, but it's a corrected policy, not corrected, updated. New York State made, revised and consolidated the requirements for local government record retention and disposition schedules. This is a full new policy to implement that retention schedule and and move out the old retention schedule. So it's been reviewed internally. I don't have anything further to add on that. Does anyone else have any question, comment, or interest? Julene?
I think there's a typo on it. On page 2, number 7, which is at the top of the page. It says 2020 at the end of the sentence, and I have a feeling that that doesn't belong there.
Yeah, it says 2020 in a big space 5670 in my copy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
It's just a repeat. I think it just got copied down from the top of the page.
Yeah, I think that 2020 doesn't belong. It looks like it just doesn't belong there.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I think you're right. I think it just got
Yep.
pushed.
Other than that, that's all.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll make that correction. Thank you very much. And again, this was kind of a pro forma policy. It's not something we wrote, but yeah, we'll clean that up. And it'll come back at second read in the January, likely the first January meeting anyway. So thank you for that. Anybody else have anything else? A question or comment on that? All right, then, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. That carries 6 in favor and none opposed. The next item of business, please. A motion for approval of contract addendum between the Association for Brighton Administrators and the Brighton Central School District.
So moved.
Andrea and
Second.
Karen in some combination.
Andrea, motion by Andrea and seconded by Karen. We have discussed this further issue. Kevin had brought it to us previously in executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. That's 6 in favor and none opposed. And then finally, this evening, as far as agenda goes, our consent agenda that you see listed there, the items, a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Christina,
Yes.
Second, Sue.
second, Sue. Thank you very much. I'm ready for the holiday break, by the way. But anyway, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That motion, the consent agenda then carries 6 in favor and none opposed. Any other further items of business this evening, board members? Anybody has? Dr. McGowan, do you have anything further this evening?
Not at all. Have a wonderful evening.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Just lastly, remember tomorrow is the wellness, there is that wellness suite or meeting. I think it's at 7 p.m.
Oh, tomorrow, you mean the presentation tomorrow evening? Yes,
Presentation,
correct.
yeah.
Thank you for the reminder on that. We have brought that up a couple times, and it is on the district calendar too. So thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. So we next meet then on January 5th. So 2021, which we all are very hopeful for a brighter 2021, let's say, as we move into that new year. As Dr. McGowan expressed during his remarks from the Board of Education, We're nearing the end of Hanukkah, Christmas is coming, Kwanzaa, and then into the New Year celebrations. However you and your family may celebrate during this time of the year, we wish you all well. We ask that you stay safe, wear a mask, and please keep gathering small. Let's keep doing all of our parts to get to the end of this road as soon as we possibly can. A motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Moved by Karen
Second.
and seconded by Christina.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the evening. We are adjourned.
This has been a special presentation from the Brighton Central School District Board of Education.